items.
I know most businesses are creating jobs, contributing to our economy, and playing by the rules. But some are not. And that's just not right. And we need to take action when that is the case.
New optimism following this week's Gaza ceasefire talks. The U.S., Qatar, Egypt, and Israel say they'll resume those talks next week. A U.S. senior administration official tells ABC News the ceasefire talks are in the, quote, end game. This is ABC News.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
From the Nashville Sports Radio Media Complex, this is the George Plaster Show. Call George now at 615-844-5600 and online at WNSR.com. And now, George Plaster.
Featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Watson Brown, Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Kelly Holcomb, along with young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It was supposed to be a wet Friday. Most of the time when the weather people get it right, I'll tell you they got it right. They butchered this one. They had been telling us for 3 days about all this rain that was coming, you know, that would hit us on Friday and then into Saturday. We haven't seen a drop.
It was dark, but it didn't rain at all today.
Dark does not equal rain.
It's cloudy, but it didn't rain.
We haven't had rain in 2 weeks, and my yard looks like it. It looks like Steiner Liff.
What do you call it? Industrial waste?
It looks like an industrial dust land. Anyway, we're back here at our digs at the Ford Ice Center. Kelly has Friday off, as is the case most weeks, but we have a good show nonetheless. We have a Titans preseason game tomorrow at home against Seattle, and why don't we just go ahead and pull Terry McCormick up, Billy, for his daily Titans update. Terry, where are you?
I'm in Cincinnati, getting ready to go to the baseball game. Just here, sitting in front of the Joe Morgan statue, George.
You're kidding. So who they got tonight?
Yeah, playing the Kansas City Royals tonight. Connor and I decided just to come up and take in a game.
The child. Did we lose him there? Did you hear what I said? I said, Terry, the child.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. There's a guy playing a trumpet over here.
Okay, tell him to shut the hell up. We got a show to do. So, okay, talk to me about what went into the Titans' decision to play no starters tomorrow night, and then we'll talk about Malik Willis.
Well, I think one of the reasons was just the 2 days of practice that they got against the Seahawks. That was kind of the plan all along, to get the starters their work there and then use the game to evaluate the second and third teamers. And then you talk about Malik Willis. This is really his opportunity to show them how much he's improved, George. He's a guy, that really struggled his first couple of years when he got opportunities to play in regular season games and even really in the preseason as well. But he's looked pretty good so far in camp, and I think that he's going to get the opportunity to show them how much that exactly he has progressed, to see if he's worth a spot on the 53-man roster.
From what you've heard, how long does he play?
I think he probably plays the first half, and then I think you probably go with Mason Rudolph in the second half. It could be longer than that for Malik, but I think that's the bare minimum.
Okay, let's talk about, because I'm going to talk about this later. This is Malik's third year, and up till now, it's been spotty at best. At times, he really hasn't looked like an NFL quarterback. You've been saying for a good while that he's very improved. He looked that way last Saturday night. Is this if he bombs out, he's gone?
Well, I think if he bombs out, there's a possibility that they wouldn't keep him on the 53-man roster. I think they probably still would try to slide him through to the practice squad if they could. But, I think the improvements that he's made, I think that the fact that there is a quarterback whisperer type of coach in Brian Callahan, plus Nick Holtz and Bo Hardigree, all of whom have a history of working with a lot of different quarterbacks. Like you remember last year when Joe Burrow got hurt, Brian Callahan got a lot of credit for having Jake Browning ready to go and tailoring an offense that would fit what he does. So I think there's some of that going on with Malik Willis. They just need to see how much he's taken to it and how good he looks.
Terry, on that front, Mason Rudolph didn't look very good last week. He looked uncomfortable. On one hand, you don't like that, but on the other, this is a guy that has been through a lot of wars. Are they concerned at all about that?
Perhaps a little bit. I mean, obviously, when things don't look right and things don't look good, there's going to be concern all around. But I think, it's an ongoing evaluation process that goes through, each practice and each game, and then you kind of take the totality of it at the end and see what you have.
Okay, last thing. Give me a couple of players who could really help themselves besides Malik Willis tomorrow night for the Titans.
Well, I think a couple of guys that have showed out this week in practice, and they're going to get a chance to continue to do that in the game. One on offense is Jaquan Jackson, a rookie punt returner, 6th-round pick out of Tulane. They really like what they saw from him in the joint practices. He's going to get a lot of work, I would think, especially with Kyle Phillips now down with an injury. And on defense, I think they continue to take a look at Chance Gamble, see if he continues to impress them, because I really think that if he does and can stay healthy, he can push Jack Gibbons for that starting middle linebacker spot.
Okay, I want you to back away for a minute and kind of show people Great American Small Park, which is what its nickname is. Let's see a little bit of outside this stadium.
All right.
Okay, now, when you walk through there, this is getting off of Pete Rose Way. To the left is the, we can't see it now. Terry, move. Yeah, to the left over there is where you get your tickets. And then the gates are off to the right. The football stadium where the Bengals play is right behind where Terry is. As you loop around the interstate, Paul Brown Stadium is there. Interesting complex.
It really is, and it's really not a bad drive up here, George. Really not, especially I live on the north of town, so that cuts about 45 minutes off of it. So we made it up here in about 3.5, 4 hours. 4 hours.
Yeah, for you, it's quicker than Atlanta. Listen, have fun tonight. Tell the child, go Orioles.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, my God. Hold on a second. Put him back on a minute.
Hold on. He wants you.
What up, George?
Well. If it isn't the child. How's the child? Get rid of that hat. Good Lord.
Hey, you like the hat?
No, I don't like the hat. You're in Cincinnati. Act like a Reds fan.
Well, 27 world champions, you know. Have to represent my team.
Sure. When was the last time you won one? I don't even think you were born.
I was 5.
2009. Hey, have a good time up there. Make the old man pay for popcorn.
I will. Thank you.
See you later.
Have a good one, George.
See you, Terry. Thank you.
All right.
Terry McCormick, the child, Connor, from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio.
When did that start? The child.
Oh, listen, it was years ago. We used to do a Sunday night show, and Terry was a part of that, and he would come in with as much Yankee garb as he can, and I wanted to throw up, and I nicknamed him the child.
That is good stuff. He looks a lot like Terry.
He does. He's, man, I remember when he was 11, 12 years old, he clearly is not anymore.
The child is not a child anymore.
Do you have an update of any substance whatsoever?
Nah, I've got a little bit of an update.
Little bit.
I wouldn't say this is in the Update Hall of Fame. But
okay, so
either way.
This is a good one for Kelly not to be here.
Yes. I'm glad Kelly's not here today.
Okay.
But it is brought to you
because he
by,
would rip you.
He would. Lori Burnett Leland at mortgagelady.usa.com is the website, or give her a call, 615-969-4350.
Billy, she's telling me that that mortgage rates are going down. I can't prove it yet. I hope she's right.
Hey, listen to her, George.
I'm trying.
She's right about everything.
She's a sponsor.
Yeah. But last night, Eagles beat the Patriots 14-13, and I didn't in a game that was pretty ugly. Of course, I didn't watch it.
Dull.
But Drake May played 4 series last night. He finished 6 of 11 for 47 yards with a 4-yard rushing touchdown. And Patriots coach Gerard Mayo, said Drake May definitely took a step forward last night, and that the competition for the starting job definitely isn't over. May has been the number 2 option during training camp behind Jacoby Brissett. Mayo has left open the possibility that he could still overtake Brissett if he lights it up in practice and in games.
I don't think it's on day one. They've got offensive line issues, and I don't think they want to get him beat up that early. Now, do I think at some point in the season he becomes their starter? Probably, and it's probably a little bit like what the Titans did with Will Levis.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Will Levis situation where you've got Tannehill, who is an older guy, similar to Brissett, who struggled with injuries, didn't stay healthy, and you had no other option really to put Levis in, and that very well could happen with Drake May. So
Ryan Tannehill, wow, talk about
he still
missing,
hasn't been picked up.
Talk about MIA. Wow,
that does surprise me a little bit. But if you look back at his last couple of years with the Titans, he really didn't do anything. I mean, he couldn't stay healthy, and when he was healthy, he didn't play very well.
Yeah.
So. Also in the NFL, Vikings have signed former Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second, because what that is Minnesota saying that of all of the quarterbacks that are out there, that he's the best option for them. Okay, I don't buy that. To me, Ryan Tannehill would be the best option. Matt Corral has been playing in the UFL, and so what they're really saying is he was the best UFL option that was out there. But I do wonder, is Tannehill putting out the kind of vibes that just say, look, I'm really not that interested? I don't know, but that's what it feels like.
That is what it feels like, because it feels like he would have been picked up already, without him saying that. But that does make you think it's almost on his end. It's almost like a pseudo-retirement. So Vikings pick up Matt Corral. In college football, Connor Stallions is back in coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Mumford
Isn't he,
High
though?
School in Detroit has hired Stallions as their defensive coordinator. He's working as a volunteer, so he's not getting paid. Their head coach at Mumford said he might be the most hated man in college football, but the coaches and kids love him. This is really strange. I don't know why a high school would ever do this.
I don't either, but I imagine that the kids are like, tell us what you did.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Michigan. I wonder if he's going to be stealing signs.
I think he needs to come clean on what went on in this deal.
We've got the documentary coming up here soon. So.
Yeah, but that appears
that's going to be a puff piece.
That appears to be a let's give you a check in return for spilling the goods.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like it's going to be him really coming out and giving the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
What was his show cause?
Connor Stallions?
Yeah.
I don't think he got a show cause.
Well, he should have. And it should have been one where if he's not going to cooperate, he should never see the light of day of college football again, because what he did really broke a trust. And for Harbaugh to sit there and act like he didn't know it, as much as I like his mom and dad, what Harbaugh's putting out there is BS.
Yeah, and I mean, for this high school to do that, I can't imagine some of the reaction. I'm sure a lot, like the kids are happy, coaches probably think it's funny, but that's a strange move. Also, Georgia quarterback Carson Beck has signed an NIL deal with a private jet company, Airstar Charter. He joins Quinn Ewers and Jackson Dart as the only college athletes with private jet deals. So we've got private jet deals. Not with,
good Lord.
I mean, only with a few guys, but it's pretty ridiculous. College baseball, new Texas coach Jim Schlossnagle has agreed to a 7-year contract that will pay him a base salary of $1 million over the first 2 years and then $2.6 million annually after that. No other SEC coach reportedly made more than $2 million this past year.
It's interesting the way the SEC is now starting to value baseball. That wasn't always the case. If you go back 40, 50 years with this, at times baseball coaches were almost picked, heads or tails. You lose, you're stuck with baseball.
Yeah, it used to be looked down upon, and now everybody's investing into it. One more baseball note, but going up to the pros, Major League Baseball is now considering new rules about starting pitchers to restore the prominence of the starting pitcher and reduce pitcher injuries. The plan is to make all starters pitch at least 6 innings. There are exceptions, though. If a pitcher throws 100 pitches, gives up 4 or more earned runs, or gets hurt, he can leave early. And this isn't official yet, but there are discussions ongoing. The belief is that pitchers would have to stop relying on max velocity and would set up their training around navigating longer starts rather than overpowering stuff. And in theory, starters pacing themselves to pitch deeper into games could decrease the rate of arm injuries.
Okay, I'm assuming a couple of things here that I don't have 100% proof of. I'm assuming that this has to be contractually negotiated collective bargaining with the players' union, and there's no way in hell they're going for this.
Just seeing this headline.
There's no way. This is look, I get what they want to do, but this is a harebrained scheme. This is right there with runner at second, nobody out in extra innings. That said, maybe it happens, but I would assume that the players' union will go absolutely ballistic over this and say it ain't happening.
Baseball better be careful with some of these moves. You got the extra inning thing where the runner starts at second.
This is
pitch
dumb.
clock. I mean, I don't want them to go too far with this stuff.
This is dumb.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's the update?
That's it.
It wasn't all bad. Okay. After the break, George Robinson from the Tennessean will join us. There are a lot of high school jamborees going on tonight. The regular season begins next Friday.
Isn't there a game Thursday?
There may be.
That's the official start.
Yeah, there may be. But next Friday, we will begin our 4 o'clock football Friday coverage, and it will be at Battleground Academy.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know it is. New coach in Bobby Bentley. They'll take on Knox Webb, and that's where our show will originate next Friday. George Robinson, after the break, stay tuned. You're listening to The George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5688.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com. Activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Okay, we are back. I'm told that we're in a little bit of a four-corner stall as we await a phone call from George Robinson, who covers high school football for the Tennessean. So, Billy, I know there are some jamborees out there. If you were going to pick a couple, 3 of the really good ones, what are they?
Well, I know Father Ryan has Blackman tonight in a that's just a scrimmage, of course, but I know Blackman typically is a school, especially a lot of those Murfreesboro schools do have those jamborees. And out there in Murfreesboro, there was some last night where you have one scrimmage that's kind of a half scrimmage, and then another one after that. I know Riverdale usually hosts one early on. I know they had one a couple of weeks ago.
There was a big one at Oakland last night.
Yes,
I do know
Oakland.
that.
Yeah, Oakland's another one. Honestly, George, the jamborees in the mid-state aren't as common as they are in Murfreesboro. But what caught my eye is some of the early season games, especially in week 1. And it's kind of funny. I asked this to Mike Organ. I said, BA's got CPA week 1, right? And he said no, but I checked, and they actually do have CPA week 1, which will be really interesting. And I think there's a lot of hype around that. Obviously, Mike Organ talking about George McIntyre and what we can expect from him, but that is at CPA next Friday night, which I think is probably the biggest game. CPA, we know how good and consistent they typically are. And then, you've got some other ones like Father Ryan's at Overton, BGA, Knoxville Webb. And you look around, week 1 usually has some really good games. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited because high school football is always the start. You get it before college. Now with week 0, you have it on the same week. But NBA has Pearl Cone at home week 1. And it's kind of interesting looking at that series. Pearl Cone the last few years has given NBA more of a fight than they have expected. Pearl Cone actually beat NBA either last year or a couple of years ago, maybe a couple of years ago. So in Pearl, with the talent they have, that has turned into a really good early season game, season opener between Pearl and NBA.
Where do you think, when it comes to Pearl Cone, they're one of the few metro schools that has gotten past all the problems that the public schools face compared to all these private schools. What do you think it is that Tony Brunetti has been able to do that's gotten them to that level?
That's a good question. I think for him, he's been able to put guys at Power 5 colleges, Power 5 schools, whether it's Keyshawn Vaughn, Barryon Brown. There's a lot of them. He had a kid last year, Zayon Simpson-Smith, who Derek Mason signed at MTSU. I think he has used that as a track record to say, hey, you want to go play in college at the next level? I'll find a place we'll get you into a school. And I think that was part of what he told us when we were at Pearl last year, one of those weeks. He said, look, you come here, you're going to play in college at some level if you want to.
Yeah.
It might be the JUCO level, it might be D3, D2, but he's also put a lot of guys at the Division I level. So if you come to Pearl as a D2 level player, he's proven that he can turn you into a Division I level player, whether it's switching positions or he's so good. He's probably the best coach in the state, I would say. Now, there's so many others out there, and there's a lot that have since retired that are also up there. And he finally got a state title last year, which was awesome.
Well-deserved.
And so now you've got that. So, you can say come win a state title, but really good player in Javion Kennard this year who, a lot of times he has guys that play both ways. You'll have a quarterback who's also your safety, your kick returner, and he gets creative. And I think players trust that, and players like that a lot about him.
Okay, I see George Robinson ready and raring to go from the Tennessean as we talk some high school football. He will be with us every week during our Football Friday coverage. George, thanks as always. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm back. The season's
beautiful.
Season's back.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's here whether you want it or not. So there are a lot of people out there kind of like me who will go to a high school game even if they don't have a dog in the hunt. Tonight there's some jamborees in the area. Give me a couple of the best and where they are and what the circumstances are.
Well, as far as the jamborees are concerned, there's quite a bit. I think, there was a little bit of there's probably a little bit of them trying to figure out if they were going to even have some jamborees today, just in terms of how the weather was going to play out. But I think we're okay. I don't know exactly where you guys are right now, but where I'm at, it looks like we're going to be okay. So we got
absolutely nothing. The storm of the century was
Yeah,
much ado
didn't
about
happen.
nothing. No.
Right. So the one that I think is going to be interesting today is FRA is going to play at Nashville Christian. Obviously, you have the number one quarterback in the nation in Jared Curtis, quarterback in Nashville Christian, and he's the number one quarterback in the nation for the class of 2026. So I think everybody's going to be kind of eager to see where he's at. He hurt his finger early in the summer, broke a bone or fractured a bone in his joint in the middle finger of his throwing hand. So he missed a little bit of the off season because of that. But he should be ready to go. Maybe there's a possibility he doesn't play much in the jamboree just to keep him fresh and keep him ready for next week's season opener. So that's one of the games that I thought was going to be a good one. FRA obviously with Coach Geisinger, they've done a fantastic job over there. So that's an intriguing matchup. There's Gordonsville actually has a football jamboree that is going on today, where I think there's I want to say maybe 8 teams competing in that, including DCA, Good Pastures in it. Obviously, Gordonsville is in it. I think the DCA Good Pasture matchup, I think that starts at 7:30. I think that's a good one. You're looking at a DCA team that's got a new coach in Jay Pierce. They got a really good quarterback in Mitchell Carey. They got a 3-star wide receiver in Carson Sneed, who just committed a couple of weeks ago to Tennessee. So, they got a lot of talent on that team. Grayson Scragg is a really good wide receiver for them. I think their offense is going to be one of the more explosive offenses in Nashville. Of course, they're in Division II single A with Nashville Christian. So, that's going to be an interesting sort of matchup with those two schools and how they kind of position themselves once the regular season starts to wind down. Henry County's got a jamboree going on. I think Henry County's probably one of the not probably, they are one of the better teams in their region in Class 5A with Beach, and so they're going to be battling it. Just like last year, they'll be battling with Beach all season long for that top spot in that region in 5A. So, and then I think there's a jamboree down in Maury County at Mount Pleasant High School, where you got Columbia is playing CPA, which is an interesting matchup. Centennial's in that jamboree. I think Spring Hill as well. Mount Pleasant, obviously, they're hosting it. And then the continuation from yesterday's Metro Nashville Jamboree that's happening tonight, Pearl Cones at Independence. Of course, Pearl Cones, the defending 4A champ. So there's quite a bit of jamborees kind of going on tonight.
Yeah. Let's go back to the young guy, Curtis, at Nashville Christian. I have seen him in person, and all the physical tools are there. I'm assuming he's got his pick of wherever he wants to go. What are you hearing there?
Georgia commit. I believe he's a Georgia commit. So, yeah. Go figure. Georgia loads up again.
Hunker down, you dogs.
Right. Yeah, Georgia commit. And, like you said, he's got all the physical tools. He's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", probably about 215, 220. Big, strong kid. Can also pull the ball down and run. I don't know how much Georgia's going to want him to be running this year.
The answer is they don't want him running at all.
Yeah,
right. They rather just have him stand back there and just pick teams apart with his arm, which is what Nashville Christian's going to want to do as well. But certainly he can pull it down. He's not afraid to kind of stick his nose in the teeth of those defenses and pick up rushing yards that way. This is a guy that ran for, I think, over 500 yards last year. He threw for over, I want to say 2,500 yards, but he also ran for about 500 yards. They sort of had an up and down year. I think they got off to a 0-3 start last year, then won 3 straight, and then the rest of the regular season's kind of or the rest of their season was kind of a roller coaster ride. They won one, lose one, and then ended up getting beat in the state quarterfinal. So, Jared Kurtz has a ton of experience as a freshman. He took him to the state championship game. So, this is a team that they know what they have in Jared. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. The coaches have been there. They're well established, and they're going to be good this year.
You talk about Jared Curtis at Nashville Christian. You've also got George McIntyre at Brentwood Academy, who has a lot of hype around him as well, committed to Tennessee. How do you compare the two? Obviously, I think they're different style players.
Yeah.
Do you have a guy that you like better potentially down the road? Well, obviously, they're both very talented, but how do you assess both of those guys and comparing them? Because everybody likes to compare nowadays. This guy's better than this guy. So what do you say on those two?
Yeah, like you said, they're two very different guys. Well, there are some similarities. They both have a lot of arm talent. Watching both of them play, and I've seen I saw George McIntyre about 2 or 3 times last year. I saw him against Pearl Cone last week in their scrimmage with Pearl. I feel like George is probably a little bit more polished as a pure thrower. The only thing that I'm concerned with George is he's got to get bigger. He's got to get thicker. He's got to get stronger. One of the things that I think Paul Wade, who's the new coach at Brentwood Academy, who came over from DCA, one of the things I think that Paul Wade has really been stressing, particularly on his offensive line, is making sure that they protect George this year. That wasn't necessarily the case last year. He was kind of running for his life most of the season last year. Obviously Brentwood Academy picked up Stephon Shivers, who's a Georgia commit, a defensive tackle, but also plays on that offensive line. Is a big kid, probably about 6'3", 6'4", around 300 pounds. They also got an Oakland offensive lineman who's about 6'7" and about 320. Although he's not going to be available for them for at least a month with the knee injury as he kind of recovers from that. So the focus will be for Brentwood Academy to protect George McIntyre in that sense. But I think George probably has a little bit more of a pure throwing arm than Jared. But I think Jared is much more durable. He's physically bigger. And I think therefore I can see where George McIntyre would thrive in Coach Heupel's offense, the way that they like to spread the ball around, the way that they like to throw it. It's just a matter of really keeping the pocket clean for George and making sure that he's not taking a lot of hits. Obviously, he's going to have to get bigger. He's going to have to get stronger, to kind of withstand that SEC play. Because listen, he's a quarterback. He's back there. He's vulnerable. He's not going to go his entire career without getting touched. So I think those are the biggest differences between those two quarterbacks. But to be honest with you, man, I can't wait to see them at the next level. I can't wait to see George in Knoxville. I can't wait to see Jared down in Athens. That's going to be a lot of fun. And when Tennessee and Georgia face each other, it could be McIntyre versus Curtis one day.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen George and George a duo like this really in the mid-state, Brentwood Academy and Nashville Christian.
It's really
at the quarterback
really rare. Yeah, it's really rare that you get to see. The mid-states had great quarterbacks over the years, but I don't ever remember a time where you had two quarterbacks that were this hyped and this heavily recruited within a year apart of each other. I mean, we're talking, and I don't mean there's been a lot of heavily recruited quarterbacks that come out of Nashville, but I'm talking about on a national stage, national recruits, guys that are top 5 nationally in their rankings at their position and overall. You got to remember, up until June, George McIntyre was a 5-star quarterback who was ranked in terms of just an overall prospect for the 2025 class, he was what, 1, 2, or 3. I think he slipped to 8 because he didn't participate in the Elite 11 quarterback camp that's out in California. That's the only reason why he slipped to number 8, and that's the only reason why he slipped from a 5-star to a 4-star, which I kind of think is, you know, a little goofy, but whatever, you know. It's every recruiting service has their way of determining who's number 1, and it is based off of your availability at these camps. So I get that, but we all know that you know, McIntyre is top 3 quarterback in the country in his class, and Jared obviously is in his 2026 class.
Well, and it doesn't stop at the quarterback position, especially here in the mid-state. Ethan Utley is the number 2 player in the state, according to 24/7 Sports. He's at Ensworth. Also at Lipscomb Academy, Chauncey Gooden is committed to Colorado, 6'4", 320 pounds, playing for Jamie Graham there at Lipscomb Academy. You've got a kid at Baylor, Cameron Sparks, who is uncommitted right now. Carson Lawrence is headed to Vanderbilt, another really good player at McCallie. So in that region, I want to stay there. Baylor, McCallie, we know about their dominance. BA, Ensworth. How do you see that shaping up this year? Because every year there's depth there. But do you like BA? With the new coach and McIntyre? How do you like Ensworth with Hasselbeck and both of them are there actually? I think so. Or do you think it's Baylor and McCallie yet again for battling it out for the state this year?
I think it's Baylor and McCallie battling it out for the state championship. Honestly, they just have too much talent. It's the depth of talent is what is striking with both of those programs. Now they both programs got a lot of kids, got a lot of transfer kids that are from actually Canada. So you know, I didn't know Canada was such a hotbed for high school football talent, but you know, a lot of those kids up there in that neck of the North American woods are you know, finding opportunities to come to the States and develop as football players so that they can develop as or at least get recruited you know, to Division I football programs. And so obviously McCallie, Baylor, those are, you know, boarding schools, and you can do that. You can move and live on campus there. So you know, those two schools have definitely benefited from that. So and like you mentioned, Cameron Sparks at Baylor and you know, the kids at McCallie, I just feel like they're still 1-2. You know, you can flip flop them. You can say McCallie's 1 and Baylor's 2, or you can have Baylor 1 and McCallie 2. I think those are the 2 best. After that, it begins to be a toss-up, really. You got to throw in Brentwood Academy. I do think they have some challenges early in the season with the loss of their big Oakland transfer, like I mentioned earlier. Colby Harmon, their wide receiver, he was lost for the season with a knee injury. That's a huge blow to them. They still have some pieces though that are going to make it interesting. And you know, like I said, with Stephon Shivers, the Georgia commit who transferred from Humboldt, you know, last year, he's on the team. He'll be on the offensive and defensive line. I think you got to watch out for Ensworth, obviously. Like you mentioned, Ethan Utley. I think Ensworth's defense is going to be incredible. I think Lipscomb Academy, I think their defense is going to be good. My question for Lipscomb Academy is going to be offensively, what can they do? And I think they're still under the TSSAA postseason ban for the second year. That ban started last year. They didn't play in the postseason, and I think it goes on until this year. So they won't be able to play in the postseason, but they can make a lot of people's lives difficult in D2 AAA in that region. So it's going to be interesting, that East region. So it's going to be interesting to watch. NBA is a team that I think you're going to have to kind of watch out for. They got a huge game next week right off the bat against Pearl Cone. Big, huge matchup for both of those teams, because Pearl Cone, you got to remember, they went 15-0 last year and won a state title. They're trying to go 15-0 again. And I don't know any Metro Nashville team that's went two straight seasons without losing a game and winning back-to-back state titles. So the opportunity for Pearl Cone to go 30-0 in a 2-year span is on the table. And if they can get through the first 3 weeks of the season, you got to think their schedule sets up nicely, to where they can at least finish the regular season 10-0, and then we'll see what they do in the playoffs.
George, thank you as always. You are a wealth of great knowledge. Look forward to getting it started next week when we go out to BGA. I know that shocks everybody. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Your neck of the woods, huh?
Absolutely. You got it. Talk to you
guys.
George Robinson from the Tennessean joining us, and we thank him. After the break, a couple of thousand thoughts about these kids from Canada migrating to Baylor and Macaulay. In a nutshell, it's absurd. Stay tuned. You're listening to The George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM. As you might be able to tell, my buddy Stan Harrison, he's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but he's actually here to talk about Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, Middle Tennessee. I'm Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers, and we understand the stress it causes in having an automobile accident. We can help you ease the stress of the auto body repair process at our 3 locations. We're conveniently located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. We've got rental cars available, we have PDR technicians available, and we have windshield technicians available. Please stop by one of our places and see us if you need our services.
And by the way, when you come in his office, this just in, he's a sports fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com.
If you're having plumbing issues, there's only one guy to call. That's Adam Whitehead. As a third-generation plumber, Adam was born and raised right here in Bellevue. Customers praise his professionalism, efficiency, and personability. Adam is known for his prompt response to emergencies and for providing high-quality repairs at reasonable prices. His expertise extends to various plumbing issues, including sink leaks, dishwasher installations, and outdoor water issues. Call him at 615-485-1534. That's 615-485-1534.
We are back. I got two things on my mind, Billy. I keep looking at all these weather forecasts that are giving, rain everywhere. First of all, I'm looking for the first drop of rain since we haven't had anything in 14 days. I look at the radar and I'm like, I don't see anything anywhere near here.
Where's the rain?
The hype on this one, which started on Tuesday, please. To quote the late Bill Walton, please. Here's the other thing. Okay, I don't know the TSSAA rule book, and frankly, I don't really care. But this concept of kids from Canada coming down to McCallie and Baylor to play football, really? That's the spirit of high school football?
Well, and they're both boarding schools too. So this is the thing of pick on somebody your own size. I mean, yeah, BA, Innsworth, private schools, Lipscomb Academy, they've got some advantages, especially over maybe Catholic schools like JP2 or Father Ryan.
Oh, we're going there,
but,
are we?
No, I'm not going there. But
sure seemed like we were.
But I mean, they're dominating, and it's pretty easy to see, especially the last couple of years. They played in the state title last year. As George said, they'll probably play in the state title again this year. At what point does it get old? Does it get ridiculous?
When you're sending kids from Canada,
or at least make that stop. I mean,
yeah. Again, it may be legal. I don't pretend to have read the TSSAA rule book, but is that really in the spirit of high school football?
No.
And I know people will say, well, what about these IMG academies? Same thing.
Well, make them play those guys. They don't belong in Division II AAA.
So they just play each other each week. McCallie versus IMG. Then next week, Baylor versus IMG.
If you're bringing kids in from Canada, play a national schedule. You know, go play up in Michigan or the Dakotas where those kids. I mean, what I don't get with the parent situation too. Are they moving to Chattanooga too? I mean,
I don't know. And look, I hesitate to rip on parents. But it does seem a little bit of where's the family value part of this?
And now the people in charge need to make the right decision here. Maybe it doesn't have to be this year, but put a plan in place to stop this, because no one likes it, other than McCallie and Baylor, of course.
We love high school football, and this is an area of the country, in particular in Georgia. And I think it's grown quite a bit in this state where the interest level is really there. But I hate when I hear this kind of story of all these kids have moved in from Canada to Baylor and McCallie. Really?
Just sleazy.
It is.
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. Where are we on stat of the day? What's the record for the week?
Man,
did we not get a victory yesterday?
Kelly got 2-2, I think.
We're 2-2. Okay. I will attempt to make it 3-2 when we come back. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, former Georgia quarterback DJ Shockley, who has been with the SEC Network, he'll join us. We'll do a tale of the tape of the Seahawks and the Titans, and we're going to get into this big test case for Malik Willis, because I think there is a lot at stake tomorrow night for him. Might not be much at stake for a lot of others, but I think he's on the firing line. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it when we come back. You're listening to The George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
Good afternoon. It's been a struggle today. 65 North trying to get up out of Brentwood into South Nashville from that earlier crash. I mean, that has just been downright frustrating at times, trying to get up from Williamson County into South Nashville. It's heavy right now, but moving 24 out into Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Lots of radar out there. Still heavy here on the South Loop and the West Loop. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on their new menu. Check them out this weekend. Order online. They got DoorDash. That's princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
The Omaha Steaks semi-annual sale is here. Get 50% off site-wide and save on mouthwatering favorites today. Go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale, where you can load up on all the delicious flavor you crave at half the price. And when you use promo code SIZZLE at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. Save big on delicious, tender, juicy steaks, big, beefy burgers, and so much more. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. Endless flavor and endless value. Every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Simply go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale today. And don't forget to use promo code SIZZLE at checkout to get an extra $30 off your order. Hurry, because this deal won't last long. Kickstart your spring grilling today. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code SIZZLE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you need to contact Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you are a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. Check them out today at pancoastbenefits.com or call 615-292-3400.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
We're talking to Nick Casario. I'm not sure how much you're willing to divulge in terms of the trade for Stephon Diggs, but how did that deal go down?
It wasn't something that we necessarily had on the radar. It wasn't necessarily something I think Buffalo was necessarily shopping. At some point, we felt there was an opportunity for us. I think if you look around the league, just teams are more open-minded. In the end, every team has to do what they feel is in their best interest. And in the end, we were able to work out an agreement with Steph and get him on the team.
Jim Rome is here, weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
We're talking a little SEC football coming up with DJ Shockley, but first, stat of the day brought to you by Adam Whitehead Plumbing in Nashville. If you ever have issues with your water heaters, bathrooms, kitchen sinks, water, or sewer lines, give Adam a call, 615-485-1534. All right, here's what we're going with today.
This is my attempt to get over 500 for the week. Doesn't happen very often.
The full NBA schedule released yesterday, giving us some high-profile matchups on national TV. Which team has the most national TV games this season?
Okay, I think we can rule out the Atlanta Hawks and the Detroit Pistons. But it's things like Dallas, Boston, Lakers, Cleveland, Philly, Denver. I don't think Golden State anymore. If I'm going to take a guess, what the heck? Let's go Boston Celtics. To the victor goes the spoils.
Nope.
Oh,
it's the
God.
Lakers.
Why?
Bronny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
39.
Okay. So we go 2 and 3 for the week.
That's a lot better than most
weeks. In some weeks is an absolute
disaster.
Victory. We've had a few offers instead of the day. Okay, hour number 1 is done. DJ Shockley to start the 5 o'clock hour. Please stay with us.
On air and online, Sports Radio
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. With the Democratic National Convention now just days out, nominee Kamala Harris outlining her economic vision today at an event in Raleigh, North Carolina. Her plan includes first-time homebuyer incentives, tax cuts, and cracking down on price gouging. The Trump campaign calling her plan, saying it was to expand the government. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more.
The vice president is shifting toward bigger, more progressive policies. I mean, the idea of debt cancellation, not just medical debt on your credit report. She's out there saying we should cancel medical debt. That is a policy that would have seemed pretty out there for the Democratic Party even a couple of years ago, and she is fully embracing that.
There is renewed hope of finalizing a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal in the latest round of brokered talks. Mediators will reconvene in Cairo next week. Hurricane Ernesto setting its sights on Bermuda. The massive storm expected to impact the island tonight, and riptide warnings are posted up and down the Atlantic coast. This is ABC News.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. From the Nashville Sports Radio Media Complex. Welcome back to the George Plaster Show. Call George now at 615-844-5600 and online at WNSR.com. And now, George Plaster.
Featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Watson Brown, Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Kelly Holcomb, along with young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
And we welcome all of you into hour number 2 of the show from our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Let's face it, it's an exciting time. You've got, on the pro level, a preseason game tomorrow night, Titans and Seattle, 6 o'clock at Nissan Stadium. We'll have a tale of the tape and some pretty serious discussion about Malik Willis, a segment from now. On the college level, next Saturday is the first regular season games. There are 3 of them. One of them's Georgia Tech, Florida State. Nevada and SMU is another one. And I want to say, I think it's Montana State and New Mexico.
Yeah, and doesn't Colorado play North Dakota State?
Thursday night
That's
after.
Thursday, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, on the high school level, jamborees tonight, regular season begins next Friday, and our Football Friday coverage will debut next Friday night at BGA, where their new head coach, Bobby Bentley, will make his debut against Knoxville Webb. However, let's stay on the college level. I actually did a game of DJ Shockley's when he was at Georgia. He was at Georgia, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm going to say in the 2005-2006 era of Georgia Bulldog football. Went into the broadcast business, has done some work with SEC Network, and a few weeks ago we might have caught up with him. Tell me, what's the level of excitement at Georgia that they can get back to the promised land and maybe win a third national title under Kirby?
Well, I think the excitement is as it is every year, because when you walk into that program with that coach, the standard is playing for national championships. And I think that's the number one thing that he stresses to his team is, we come in every year, we expect to be playing for a national championship. And I think that's one of the things that he has stressed from day one about his program. Now, I think the excitement is still there. They got a lot of great players returning. They got a lot of guys in the portal that have come to the University of Georgia. So they are excited about what could be and the things that could happen there. Now, I think they feel as though they have the best chance of anybody to go back and try to get a third national championship.
Tell me this. You watched it firsthand a year ago. We haven't had a college football team in a three-peat kind of scenario in a long time. What are the obstacles that you can't really know are there until you go through it to try to three-peat?
I think the biggest thing is just keeping guys healthy. I mean, at this point of you get late into the season and you have a guy like Brock Bowers, who we know is one of the top players in the country, and you had Ladd McConkey, who was actually hurt as well going into that Alabama game. You had Smile Munden, the starting linebacker. He was hurt going into that ball game. So they had a bunch of key players with some injuries, and that kind of prohibited what they wanted to do on both sides of the ball because of those talented players not being at full strength or not even being at 100%. So when you play a physical nature that Georgia wants to play, and then you couple that with playing in the SEC where week in and week out you got to bring your best, it makes it tough on the team. And I think that's why Kirby recruits the way he does, because he knows throughout a season you're going to have guys go down, but you got to have guys who maybe step into those roles and play as good as football as your starters. So it's tough when you have guys get injured or you have things happen throughout the year where you miss a guy for a couple games here and there. And I think that's the toughest part about playing in this league. And what Georgia had to deal with last year was having some of those key players go down in those moments. And even though all three of those guys tried to play, they just weren't at 100%, and you could tell when it showed up on the tape.
Yeah, how much is complacency a factor when an athlete says, "Well, we want to win, but we've already got two in the bank"?
You know what? It's a good question, because that's one thing that Kirby fights his team about, but then he also has a really good comment on it. And he says a lot of these guys who are in this position, they haven't won the national championship. Maybe they were on the team. Yeah. Maybe they were a second, third, or fourth string. And yeah, they got a ring and it feels good. You were there, you're part of it. But you weren't really the guy that helped, to get that team over that kind of hump and really be a contributor. And I give you a perfect example of it. Carson Beck, he's a guy who was on both those national championship teams. And I heard him, and I've talked to him multiple times, and he said, yeah, I was on the team. It felt good, but I want to win one of my own. And I think that's what a lot of these guys are fighting is, I want to get my own. I want to, yeah, we won one, but those were the other guys. That was Stetson Bennett. That was Nakobe Dean. All those guys, they put in the work to get it. Yeah, we helped them practice and all that kind of stuff, but it feels different when you're out there playing and you got that. So Kirby always reminds them, yeah, those guys did it. Now go get yours. So I think that's where he fights it really easily with the complacency part of it.
DJ, go back a few years now, and it's hard to believe how long ago it's been. When Georgia hired Kirby, there was no guarantee it would turn out to this level of success. When did you say to yourself, this guy's going to hit it huge?
I think it had to be after his first year, and they, I think they won 8 games or something like that. And you could tell the standard was just not what he wanted it to be. And he said from day one, you know what? I want to have a team that's bigger, that's stronger, that's faster than when I got here. He had a plan of what he wanted his program to look like in totality, from the facilities to how they practice to I remember this first spring, they called it 90K Day, where they wanted to pack out Sanford Stadium. So he had a mindset of what he really wanted. And you can see after that first year, he said, okay, I know what I have on my roster, but here's what I got to go get. And I knew after that, the way he went about his business on a daily basis, the way he went about recruiting, the way he went about his staff, I knew that this was going to be a program that was going to be able to sustain for a long time. And as you can see, that culture and that standard that he, predicts around that school, it's absolutely what carries them over throughout this entire time.
What's the ceiling for Carson Beck? And let me tell you where I'm going with that. I hear things like Heisman Trophy around him. Is he at that level?
Absolutely. I think Carson has the ability to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And I say that because I've been around the kid enough to know his work ethic, for one, and to know that this guy's willing to do anything to win ball games for his team. And it's not about him. And when you get put into that spot and everybody talks about the high hopes that he has, he always takes it back to his team. And that gives me the wherefore to know that this guy is all about the big picture, which is his team. And if his team wins, guess what? That means he's doing well. I mean, this guy threw for 3,900 yards in his first year starting in the SEC. And a lot of people didn't know what to expect from him. But this year, he's in that talk. That tells you everything you need to know about how the guy went from game one to all the way playing against Florida State in that last bowl game, how much he grew. This is a kid that can make every throw in the book. He's smart as all get out. And he's got a head coach that believes in him, but also gets the most out of him. You got an offensive coordinator, Mike Bobo, who I played for, who will make sure he's the most prepared player on the field. And he's got a great group of players around him. The defense is always going to be stout, but he has a great group of players around him on the offensive side of the ball. So everything sets up for it to be there. And I know because of the staff there and the people that's around him, that standard will stay the same.
Okay, I'm going to spout off a theory at you. And if you don't buy it, feel free to tell me, George, you're full of it. You ready?
I got you.
So, excuse me. So when the SEC went to that scheduling show in May, I started looking, and a bunch of these schools, DJ, have got these 3 and 4 week windows where they might as well be playing in the NFL. That it's just, it's one after another, after another, after another. And I've always believed if you get to the third week of one of those, look out, because that third one really gets tough. Are there going to be some teams that are really good that are going to die on the vine because they got one too many of these?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think you can look at any school inside the SEC, and you can look at their schedule and say that is a gauntlet of a run for any team, whether it's Georgia, whether it's Alabama, whether it's Texas, whoever it may be, Oklahoma. You name any school, and you're going to say, wow, that's a tough stretch to go through. And I was just listening to Coach Venables talk, and you looked at kind of their end of the season where they got to play Ole Miss, they play Alabama, they end with LSU. I mean, that's a tough 3-game stretch at the end of the season, and it's hard every single week to play your best football. And even for the teams that are as disciplined as a team like Georgia, for every single week to have to play up to your top tier, it's going to be tough. So I think, there are going to be teams this year that have a really good, hey, that was a good week that week. We don't put 2 in a row. And then you got to go on the road somewhere and play in another hostile environment, and you don't bring your best. So it's absolutely can be one of those things that can happen for any team this season. And I don't think any team inside the SEC can say they can't. They got to make sure they don't take every game for granted. They got to be ready to go every single one.
How big a role is London Humphreys going to have? Because I know this kid can fly.
Yeah, and I think Georgia saw him up close and personal when they
sure
played him in Vanderbilt. I mean, I think it might have been that first series. He caught a little slant and went to the house with it. He's definitely a guy that I know caught the eye of Kirby Smart and that entire team when he went to the house against Georgia. But you know what? The biggest thing is he brings size. And I think that's what Georgia wanted, was a guy who has that kind of size, that kind of athleticism, a kind of guy who could take the top off the defense. And he's played in this league. He understands what it takes to be successful. So he was very intriguing, I know, for Coach Bobo and Coach Smart to say, all right, when he went in the portal, this is a guy we absolutely want on our team. And you don't have to question if this guy can do it, because guess what? You can just turn on the tape and see he did it versus you.
Hey, great talking to you, as always.
All right, George. Appreciate it. Thanks again, man.
DJ, thank you. Good man, DJ Shockley. Billy, you have heard me spout this off a bunch, and here it comes again. The SEC wants to go to 9 conference games, and they want that because Greg Sankey wants it to be able to go to the TV networks and say, look, we're giving you what you want. You don't want UL Monroe. You want the big boys. But I'm telling you, come mid to late October, when a couple of the real SEC powerhouses fall apart because the schedule was absurd,
Here come the ADs. Greg Byrne at Alabama with the way their fans. I mean, if they go 9-3 and miss the playoff here in the next 3-4 years, 1 year, he's going to be hearing it, and he's the one that they're going to have to rely on to make a change, or at least try to make a change. But everyone we've talked to said they're going to 9 games, and I don't know there's much anybody can do about it.
Well, partly because it's the old money talks and you know what walks. But I think along the path of going to 9, the coaches are going to go off. And they're going to say, we cannot keep this up. It's a suicide mission. And at times, there are 4 or 5 schools in the league right now. Georgia's one of them, where you look and you go, they're really going to get through all of that?
I mean, look at Florida's this year. Their month of November. They're all ranked teams. I don't know what the number is, but it's ridiculous. And I think the SEC could have done a better job scheduling. There's too many discrepancies with this. Tennessee, I'm not going to say cakewalk, but that's a beautiful schedule for Tennessee. They get to play Mississippi State, Arkansas. Obviously, they get to play Vanderbilt, but Florida, I mean, they get the whole top half of the league. So does Oklahoma. And I know it's hard. Scheduling is not easy, but there's too many discrepancies this year in week 1 and in year 1 with Texas and OU.
Here's the thing that you're going to see at the end of the season. You're going to see the coaches get in a room with the ADs and say, okay, we've got to layer these schedules better. When we have a tough one, then we either go open date or we go UL Monroe type. But we can't go 3 in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row. And there are a couple that have got 4 in a row, like you mentioned with Florida. And so I think you're going to have a power struggle. Sankey will win it because he controls the purse strings. But the coaches are going to bitch up a storm.
And maybe it doesn't happen as soon. Maybe that 9-game thing doesn't happen as soon as we think with these coaches.
Be interesting to see. Yeah. Okay, tomorrow, Titans in Seattle. And yes, we're going to do that goofy tail of the tape. But we're going to get some real substance into the conversation. And it's all going to revolve around Malik Willis. Then we'll open up the phone lines right around 5:40. At 615-844-5600. You may have some reaction to what I'm going to put out there. That you're listening to the George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, you need to call Bart Durham. And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5688.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. So tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Titans and Seattle at Nissan Stadium. And on the surface, not a ton of real interesting storylines, especially when Brian Callahan announced that none of the starters are going to play. So with that in mind, let's go to the tail of the tape, which is at times kind of stupid, but what the heck, we like to do it. Titans have the home field. Duh. I think right now Seattle's got a better running game because I don't think it is the big priority anymore with the Titans. I think they have become a throw-first, run-second team, and until I see otherwise, I got to go with that. So we give the passing check mark to the Titans, not by a ton. Defense we give to Seattle. I'll admit there were some things a week ago that concerned me with the Titans, mostly in their linebacker work.
Yeah.
Kicking game, who knows? We'll say dead even. So you see the intangibles. In Seattle, there's no longer Pete Carroll. He got shown the door at the end of the season, was not happy about it at all. When I think of Pete Carroll's Seattle teams, I think of teams that are really scrappy, that played to sort of his mentality. And, he won a Super Bowl in Seattle. But now they've made the change, and I'll give you the final score of 23-16 Titans. For what reason? Well, we're Nashville-based, and what the heck, it's good for business. But does it mean much? Probably not. So let's get to the Malik Willis issue, because I do think there is something really important about the opportunity that he's got tomorrow night. And let me say up front that I don't think all of where he is right now is his fault. If you go back to his first year here, I don't think he was coached worth a damn. 2 words, Todd Downing. Not very impressive. When you saw his performance in the regular season game the day before Christmas, and I think it was against the Houston Texans, there wasn't much to him.
No.
The kid that I saw at Liberty that really had great athletic ability and, the ability to take a bad play and turn it into a good one, it appeared they had dumbed him down to what I call Gerber's baby food.
Yes.
Okay, so with that in mind, here's some thoughts. Thought number one, NFL teams do not like having a quarterback on their roster for 3 years who hasn't advanced past third string, if you will. And the truth of it is, in the offseason, the Titans had a decision to make. Did they make Malik the number 2? Absolutely not, and it was the right decision. They went with a reliable, capable backup in Mason Rudolph. But there will come a put-up or shut-up time for Malik, which is at some point he's got to look like a quarterback who is zeroing in on the number 2. And at least up till now, while he's made progress, nobody can feel that way.
No, I mean, that's the big question. Can he go out there tomorrow night and play well and show that he can be the backup quarterback for the Titans? Because we haven't seen it. We've seen flashes. He was forced into action last year or two for the Titans. He never showed he's capable of being even a backup. He just looked lost. Now, again, like you mentioned, Todd Downing was also not helping him. Maybe Brian Callahan helps Willis out. Maybe.
I think he's from a sophistication of passing game, Billy, he's a huge upgrade.
Oh, absolutely. And so you look at it and you go, okay, is Malik Willis, is he a guy that is who he is? He had Liberty. He ran a lot, and he was in an offense that suited him, and you're at the college level. You can't run in the NFL the way he did in college. So tomorrow night's the night, at least one of them.
I think it is.
I know you've got another one in New Orleans next weekend, but, this is put up or shut up, like you said. So Mason Rudolph has already proven he's been better in these training camp practices. Mason Rudolph doesn't have anything to prove. This is everything for Willis tomorrow night.
In 2 minutes, I'm going to go to Frank in Smyrna, who was in Dallas last night, actually in Arlington, to see the Rangers in Minnesota, and might have been given a great tour by our buddy Chuck Morgan.
Oh.
That maybe
helped
sort of grease the wheel on. But here's the thing. If he poops the bed tomorrow, and we all hope he doesn't, he's a great kid.
Yeah.
He really is. He's a guy, if you got to meet him, you would root for.
Mm-hmm.
But if he poops the bed tomorrow, it opens up the real probability that Callahan and Rand Carthon at the end are going to look at that list of UFL quarterbacks that are out there, and they're going to look at the waiver wire and say, okay, is there somebody out there that's got more upside than simply putting Malik on the practice squad? Thus, I believe tomorrow night is huge for him.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a snoozer for everybody else in the fact that they're not going to play the first teamers, but for Malik Willis, this could be his NFL career kind of hanging in the balance.
I'm excited to see.
I
like
too.
Malik Willis. I think he's got some potential. We just haven't seen it. Maybe tomorrow night's the night where he goes out there and slings it.
Okay, we'll open up the phones. I'm going to take this one first and then go to the break, but I'd love to get a bunch of you on the line if you got opinions on this Malik Willis thing in particular. 615-844-5600 is the number. Frank, normally in Smyrna, is in Arlington, Texas. Tell me about meeting Chuck Morgan.
Oh, man. You know what, George? It's just such an honor. I walked in his booth, and I just said, Chuck Morgan, I've always wanted to meet you. And I introduced myself and said, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and we have a mutual friend. And he goes, he's looked and said, oh, Lord, who? And I said, George Plaster. I can't exactly say on radio what he said after that, but he gave me the old, you're judged by the company you keep and all that.
Yes,
and
that's a good point.
It was just a good time. He showed me the booth, all the memorabilia in there. I said, Chuck, I could forget the game tonight here. I could just hang out here for a few hours and look at all this memorabilia in this booth. I mean, it's unbelievable. And on the outside, too. I wish I got some better pictures, but anyway, just a class act, as I thought he would be. And, and I told him, I said, yes, I listen to the show every day. It's always good to hear your voice on the intro. And, and it's a beautiful ballpark out there. I also saw the Steve Miller Band, Def Leppard, and Journey concert at the Rangers ballpark. I guess it would have been Monday night. And, that's a good place to see a concert. It was and I will say I'm out here at Grapevine, Texas right now at the Gaylord Texan Resort. Current temperature, 104.
Oh, I believe it. So
yeah, I'm sitting out here by the swimming pool if you really want to know the truth. But anyway,
Frank, the old Ranger Stadium is right across the street from the new one.
It is.
The new one looks like a grain silo on the outside. I don't know who put the thing together. I'm not overly impressed with that, but the inside is beautiful.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful, yes.
And Chuck's booth is right there for the whole world to see. And you're not the first person that's ever gotten to tour that. He is so good. He has done so much friend raising for that franchise. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. And I did tell him that I've been to a lot of baseball parks over the years, and I have never heard a public address announcer that was as good as him. Never. I told him, I said, you, sir, wrote the book on how to do public address in a Major League Baseball game the correct way.
Well,
he told me that was far too kind, but to say. But anyway.
As you know, the story of him is that he was one of the voices of the Grand Ole Opry. He helped get me my first job out of college, and Larry Schmittou hired him in 1983 to go to work for the Rangers, and, that was an absolute home run, as I knew it would be. Anybody that knows Chuck knew his love of baseball. I am thrilled that you were able to get this to work out.
Yeah, just won the game. I mean, he introduces the starting lineup and said, it's baseball time in Texas. And just, he makes those games so fun. The game itself last night, 3-2 Twins. Twins scored a run in the ninth inning and to break a 2-2 tie. Not the most exciting game I've ever seen by any means, but, the Rangers are just struggling. A lot of their good pitchers are on the injured list. Raise your hand if we said that before about other teams, but Corey Seager's out. They don't know when he'll be back. The Rangers, they only drew 29,000 last night on Nathan Eovaldi World Series replica rink night. I really believe this area. I think this area is getting ready for football. I think they've kind of given up on the Rangers because they're not going to the postseason. I think we know that. So
the Rangers used to have to fight that a lot. That in early August, their crowds would dwindle. But of course, a year ago they surprised everybody.
Right.
Came out of nowhere. Hey, thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the call. I hope the background noise wasn't too bad or anything like that. But
it was super. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, George. Take care. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week.
You too. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay, with Frank off the line, I've got two callers who will start us out after the break, Dr. Detroit and Eric in Nashville. I want a third caller to create the sellout at 615-844-5600. Anybody got any thoughts on what I'm putting out there that tomorrow night might well be a make or break in the career of young Malik Willis? He's being given a golden opportunity as the starter. He better take advantage. You're listening to the George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM. As you might be able to tell, my buddy Stan Harrison, he's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but he's actually here to talk about Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, Middle Tennessee. I'm Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers, and we understand the stress it causes in having an automobile accident. We can help you ease the stress of the auto body repair process at our 3 locations. We're conveniently located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. We've got rental cars available, we have PDR technicians available, and we have windshield technicians available. Please stop by one of our places and see us if you need our services.
And by the way, when you come in his office, this just in, he's a sports fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com.
If you're having plumbing issues, there's only one guy to call. That's Adam Whitehead. As a third-generation plumber, Adam was born and raised right here in Bellevue. Customers praise his professionalism, efficiency, and personability. Adam is known for his prompt response to emergencies and for providing high-quality repairs at reasonable prices. His expertise extends to various plumbing issues, including sink leaks, dishwasher installations, and outdoor water issues. Call him at 615-485-1534. That's 615-485-1534.
I'm a little disappointed. I need one more call to create the sellout. That line is open at 615-844-5600. Do you buy my Malik Willis theory that tomorrow night, put up or shut up time? I don't mean that literally, but it's his big chance.
It's the night for him. I know they've got another one in New Orleans, but come on, Malik. You got to show us something.
Try this one, Billy. In the old Rangers ballpark, Chuck allowed me to pick out a song to play. He said, give me the song you want to hear. Okay, mine was Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer. What would yours be?
Oh, man. Gosh, that's a good one.
Well, think about it. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Dr. Detroit, what's going on today?
Hey, no, I totally agree. I don't care what NFL football team you're playing on. 3 years is enough to analyze any backup quarterback. And, I totally agree. Hey, you got to be a little impressive. And I know it's just the first preseason game, but the long kickoff return and punt return was pretty dang impressive. And the Titans hadn't had one of those players in quite some time. Second question is this. I'm glad that our coach, Brian Callahan, has got Detroit Lions ties. And what I'm about to throw at you next, I'd love to hear about Matthew Stafford. And I know he loved Matthew Stafford. I know he did. And I'd like to be a fly on the wall on how pathetic he thought Matt Patricia was as a first-time head coach for the Lions. Thank you, George. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. The man has a pencil in his ear.
He was awful.
He was.
And what they were doing with him and Joe Judge as I mean, what was that?
I don't know.
That's what did Belichick in.
That was, for all of the brilliant things, that one was not.
And I know that was in New England. He's talking about him in Detroit, but
yeah,
he's bad in Detroit too.
So go back on something he brought up. The Titans really have had no return game, kind of going back to Pac-Man Jones, who was, while he was a problem child, was as electric a returner as this league has seen in a long, long time. And all of a sudden, this kid broke one last week and really got the crowd going. And it's an area for a long, long time that the Titans, under the whole hidden yards thing, here they're hidden yards, Zippo.
No, it's nothing explosive. I mean, when's the last time you had a guy you could give the ball to and you might see an 80-yard run? Yeah, Derrick Henry. But
Pac-Man.
I mean,
in the punt return, kickoff return game,
just
Pac-Man.
Yeah, in the special teams game, Pac-Man. But even a run, I mean, Derrick Henry is like you were waiting and waiting and wait. Chris Johnson for a couple of years there. I mean, it was almost every run you had to be in your seat. And I mean, I think they're getting there now. I mean, but
the Chris Johnsons don't grow on trees.
No, that's true. But yeah, I mean, in the return game, I thought that was encouraging. I know it's preseason, but to have an early return there from Karis Jackson was impressive. And then Jaquan Jackson, who I think Terry has been talking about at punt returner, is a guy with a ton of speed too. So you got to have some hidden yards in there somewhere.
Before I go to Eric, put the Herm Edwards thing up there. I have not brought that up enough, but here goes. Over the weekend, because we don't have a ton of time on this, we've got an opportunity of a lifetime. Our next Wilson Bank and Trust Sports Speaker Series event is a week from next Monday, August the 26th, here at the Fordyce Center. Herm Edwards in front of a live studio audience where I'm going to let y'all ask a lot of the questions because I have had that opportunity over the years with him. What a delight he is, and I'm hoping a bunch of you will turn out and be a part of it because it really will be something special. Eric, oh, by the way, if you want seats, simply email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com, and let me know how many seats you need. Eric in Nashville, I expect you to be there.
George, I wish you could, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. I've got two issues. One is I may have something else going on, but even if I could, I've got transportation issues. So that's
well. Now I've gotten the word to Kenny the mailman that you are to be helped. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, George?
I'm good. Hope you are.
Hey, yeah, I'm great. Just keep in your thoughts and prayers, George. I'm in the process of trying to also go back to work. I haven't been working 4.5 years. Dealing with some health issues, I'm doing a lot better, but also I'm running low on money, so I got to get back to work so I can earn some income. Because the only option I've got left is getting my 401k, which I'm trying not to do that. So
when you get to a point where you've got more than you can handle, money-wise, just send it on over.
Yeah,
I can help you.
Okay. Okay.
That was a joke.
Okay, I know. Well, anyway, you were talking though about the Malik Willis deal. Here's the thing, George. I'm not saying that you're not wrong in what you said about Malik Willis and even what you said about Todd Downing, but George, I want to go back 2 years ago. One of the things, of course, you remember you had the big Sunday night game against the Kansas City Chiefs, nationally televised games.
Right.
I'll be honest, I thought we were going to get smoked, and that was the game where the Titans defense played outstanding, and we almost had one of the biggest upsets probably would have been that season, and you could maybe even say the NFL history. But the defense wore down, and Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things to pull it out. And if we had any competent quarterback play in that game, I believe we'd have won. I was just stunned that night. But if you also remember, George, later on that season, do you remember what happened?
Yeah, he played against the Texans in the Christmas Eve game.
I thought that was the game we picked up Joshua Dobbs, and we played the Cowboys in the Thursday night game, and we lost. And then that was in the final game. If you remember, we went to Jacksonville and we lost. I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about 2 years ago.
No, I know that, and that's what I'm talking about. Was Christmas Eve? Malik Willis plays. They end up with Dobbs a few days later against Dallas. And then the regular season finale in Jacksonville, where they put it all out there and got beat in the final 2 minutes.
What a collapse!
But no, you're right. Okay, I couldn't remember that. But what I'm saying is, it's like, well, Joshua Dobbs, while he didn't play spectacular in the last 2 games, it's like it felt like he played competent quarterback play. Now, was that on the coaching staff? Was that some of that on Malik Willis? Because I thought Joshua Dobbs, for the short time he was here, had some sort of competent quarterback play, and I thought we were going to keep him. But we wound up not doing that. So
think through this, Eric. If you look through Josh Dobbs' career, because I don't get it, he will give you 2 to 3 weeks. Remember the run he got on with the Vikings, which was then followed by a total collapse. I can't figure Josh Dobbs out.
Yeah, and I think he played with somebody else. Didn't he play with the Falcons?
He played with Arizona.
Arizona.
You might be right that there was a Falcons thing in between. He's been with a bunch of teams, but a year ago,
and if I'm not mistaken, he started out with the Browns.
Yeah, and a year ago got on a run with the Vikings where, for 2 weeks he was like a national star, and then the whole thing went.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I definitely believe Malik Willis has to step up to at least make it a tougher decision, because if he plays crappy, I believe he's gone. If he does play well, I think they will probably keep 3 quarterbacks again, because I don't think they're looking to get rid of Mason Rudolph, and it's going to be interesting. He'll probably play the whole game. I don't know if they'll bring up Mason Rudolph in or not, because I think Malik is probably playing with the second team. I don't know if they're going to put Mason Rudolph in with like the third team or anything like that. So I'm probably expecting Malik to play the entire game. But we'll see, George. Good talk to you, George. Take care, and you have a great weekend.
Listen, you have a good one as well. Let me get to Mike in Melrose, who knows Chuck Morgan as good as anybody. Mike, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Real quick, just your previous caller mentioned the shortstop for the Rangers. He's not hurt. I was in Fenway Monday and Tuesday. He played. He's not hurt. They chose not to play him last night for some reason.
You're talking about Corey Seager.
Yeah, I understand not starting him, but I watched the game when you're losing by a run in the 9th inning, and he's over there in the dugout, and he's got the most home runs of anybody in August, and he's homered off the guy, and you don't play him. I mean, to me, you're just throwing in the chips. I mean, our chances of making the playoffs are slim to none, and I don't know if it's a Bruce Bochy's decision or it's in his contract that he has to have a day off. I mean, the second baseman hasn't had a day off in 2 years. Cal Ripken went, 7 or 8 years without a day off? And you don't play him. To me, that's why can't you go in and take one at bat for your team?
Well, look,
That
you're
upset me.
absolutely right. I happened to hear the telecast last night where the Rangers TV guy said that Bochy had made the decision beforehand that no matter what happened, that Corey Seager wasn't going to play. And I was like you, come on, when you've got that kind of a bat, 2 out, nobody on, down a run against Minnesota's closer, darn tootin' I'd have Corey Seager up there. I was shaking my head like you were, going, what is going on?
I mean, if he's got a little bit of a nagging injury, but I mean, come on, this is baseball. This is not a boxing match or a football game. Get up there and swing the bat. I mean, I got a chance to go to Fenway. The one game Cora put in a lefty to face him, and sure enough, first pitch he goes deep. I don't know why. I mean, why does he need to? Back in the day with DiMaggio and Mantle, did those guys take days off? I don't think so.
Oh, you got that right. Hey, have a good weekend.
That's the whole Herm Edwards thing in the preseason that he was hitting on, and no one talked. People don't talk about that enough. About play the game.
On the other hand, far be it for me to be overly critical of Bruce Bochy.
He's a world champion.
Absolutely. Not only is he a world champion, he is a Hall of Fame manager.
Yeah.
You look into his track record.
It's hard to nitpick him too much.
It is, but that one last night kind of had me shaking my head with Mike.
So they pulled him late.
Well, no, what they did, he had announced that Seager was not going to play last night.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay.
And he stuck to it. Kirby Yates gave up a run in the top of the ninth. Minnesota's up 3-2, bottom of the ninth. First two batters strike out. And you got to put Seager up there as a pinch hitter, and Bochy didn't. And I know it opened up a can of worms.
That's strange.
It is. It's a weird decision. Speaking of weird decisions, did I tell you I'm undefeated this week?
No, not yet.
Well, I am. But rather than just sit on it and call it the perfect week, we have not one, not two, not three, but 4 picks.
Oh, my.
For the weekend. Plaster bet of the day as I attempt to make you gobs of money. Whatever. Is coming up next. You're listening to the George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
Good afternoon. There's still heavy traffic on all the major outbound routes right now, like 24 continuing out into Antioch towards Murfreesboro. It's still a little bit slow on 40 East where it connects with 840 out there in Wilson County, just outside of Lebanon. Still busy on the South Loop, the West Loop, plenty of radar, especially to the north on 65 up through parts of Sumner County into Robertson County. Hey, whether you need a new roof, roof repair, roof inspection, independent roofing specialist, check them out, irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Dog parents are loving Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend Premium Dog Food.
The way she acts and the way she moves, it's just so much better. And she's like a puppy again. It's unbelievable.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a freeze-dried raw food made with 0 artificial preservatives, so it's naturally shelf-stable with no mess, freezer, or fridge required. Plus, it's full of premium turkey, beef, salmon, and meat your dog will love.
We started with Nature's Blend. She's happy, she sleeps well, she's energetic. I am just delighted with this product.
When given the choice, Nature's Blend and Amazon's #1 bestseller in dry dog food, 29 out of 30 dogs chose Nature's Blend first.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of delicious beef liver treats. Go to drmartypets.com/healthy or text healthy to 511-511. Text healthy to 511-511. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. Do you have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. Give them a call today at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473. Buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro, with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
The Atlanta Braves are battling back in the division and keeping their sights set on the playoffs as the season heats up.
Swung on a fly ball, deep left center field. That is down for a base hit. Braves win it in the bottom of the 10th.
Tonight, it's Atlanta Braves baseball live from Anaheim as Matt Olson, Austin Riley, and the Braves take on the LA Angels at Angel Stadium.
Pre-game coverage begins at 8:20 p.m. exclusively on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Final segment on a Friday, and we are 1 week away from calling it a football Friday. 1 week away from high school football getting going. Of course, college 1 week away as well. If you count week 0, got a good one, Florida State and Georgia Tech. You got some good baseball tonight and this weekend. A lot of preseason. We'll see where Georgia's going with Bet of the Day, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Give them a call, 615-242-9000, or log on to bartdurham.com. Let's check out what happened last night.
Yeah, it wasn't a perfect
Patriots
week. I forgot.
Did not. Yeah, I totally forgot about
that.
They
gave up a touchdown with about 6 minutes left.
I can't say I was locked into that last night.
Well, I can't say I was either, but I happened to see that was one dull preseason game, as most of them are.
And this is why you don't bet preseason.
Well, if you do, you do it at your own risk. Yeah. And if you lose, you have to look in the mirror and say, maybe I deserve it. I did it to myself. Okay, so there we are. And the preseason stuff is difficult, but we've got a couple that we're going to throw out there. Here we go.
The Titans.
Tighten up. I'm taking the Titans basically for one reason. They're at home. Got a home crowd behind them. If Malik plays well, they probably cover this. If he doesn't, they probably have no chance of covering.
Have we heard if Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams are both playing?
I would think not.
Okay, because they're both starters.
I don't know that. Yeah, if he's sticking to the no starters are playing, then
I did see after he said that, he said, but some will play. He kind of went back on it, so
yeah,
maybe they do. I think that could be some motivation for Diggs and Adams. It's a preseason game, but playing their old team.
The other is a Sunday night game on national TV, the other NFL one. The 49ers are home. If they play with the same level of disinterest that they did a week ago, I'll probably end up being wrong. But it's a home game out in wherever, out in Santa Clara, against the Saints, who are no world beater. We'll see what level of interest San Fran plays with. Now to the baseball tonight. Why am I taking the Braves? One reason: the Angels suck. They're bad. However, there'll be a lot of reuniting with Ron Washington. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's give them the other one. Orioles at home. That game's just started. Corbin Burns pitching for Baltimore. All of you have a great weekend. Monday, we'll have Kelly's analysis of what went on Saturday night at Nissan, and we'll get you an update on the first college game of the year, Florida State, Georgia Tech. See you Monday.